we have all these people meeting together is because of a map that was shown right before I came in here, showing that about one half of the state is still under flood warnings. And one of the most important messages I could convey to Texans across the state this moment is that these warnings will continue for substantial parts of Texas. There will be parts of Texas that will continue to receive rain over the coming days. There will be parts of Texas that may not get any rain. However, they will still be subject to higher rising water and still ongoing floods. It's very, very important for everybody in whatever community they live in. If you may encounter potential flooding, or if you receive any type of warning whatsoever from local law enforcement officials, heed those warnings. Please remember the easy phrase, turn around, don't drown. Stay out of the rising water. There will be periods over the next 24 hours, if not longer, where there will still be roadways that are impassable. Do not drive into those roadways, because not only will you not be able to make it through, but you could endanger yourself, your lives, your property. Now, what we have done to accelerate this process is, as of now, I am declaring a state disaster declaration for 9 counties. They include Austin, Bastrop, Colorado, Fort Bend, Harris, Grimes, Montgomery, Waller, and Wharton. There will be probably more counties that will be declared, and we will be looking for information to be received from those counties that will determine those declarations. The team that I mentioned earlier, the teams from the state of Texas, as well as what they've done at the local level, have been instrumental in countless water rescues in quintessential fashion. Texans have stepped up and aided their fellow Texans and have literally saved so many lives they cannot even be counted because of the robust water rescues that we've seen taking place. My gratitude goes out to the local officials, to neighbors helping neighbors, for helping Texans respond. A couple of other things. One is that for Texans who are interested about whether or not a particular roadway is closed, I want to give you a website that may provide helpful information. It's drivetexas.org. That's drivetexas.org. We'll have information that may be applicable to a roadway that you're interested in trying to pass. We have been working through this process with FEMA, and will continue to do so. FEMA has always been very collaborative and supportive and an essential aid to us here in the state of Texas. We've also been working with Red Cross, and I would say this to people who are in need and people who want to help. In fact, every time we have something like this occur in the state of Texas, our fellow Texans always want to help. The best way for you to go about helping is to contact the Red Cross. The Red Cross can receive donations. They particularly are benefited by donations of money, so they can provide the precise resources that are needed by those in aid. There is additional need for shelter, for clothing, for food. Anything that you can do to aid people who are affected by these floods would be terrific. And I think that the needs are most acute in Harris County, in Houston, Texas, and in Waller County, in addition to the counties that I have listed on my official declaration. Something very important for you to get out is to let people know, because people have been wanting this information. My office, as well as others, have been in continuous contact with the Internal Revenue Service today, and they have told us that they will be granting extensions for those who qualify for them. And they have on their information, we can provide the information to you, the specifics that would qualify you. Basically, if you reside in one of these areas that is subject to flooding, you will qualify for extension of time to even file your extension. But if you're living in an area that has not been subject to flooding, don't think that you're going to be able to get an extra extended extension. With that, I'll be happy to take a few questions.
What are the biggest needs in Harris County right now as far as, are there still water rescues underway? Is the flooding still coming up, or are things beginning to subside to any degree at all?
Well, there are parts of Harris County that were subject to well over a foot of rain. And in those areas, as well as the waterways around them, there is and will continue to be rising water for a while. Remember, there was water above the Harris County area that will continue to flow down into Harris County. So in addition to the fact that there is likely going to be rain for another 24 to 48 hours, there will continue to be rising water for at least that long, if not longer. And so there will be challenges resulting from that that will require response by rescues. And I want you to know that we have helicopters available from multiple divisions to provide air-based water rescues, boat-based water rescues, rescue of any kind. We will constantly be searching for anybody who may need any type of assistance. The second thing that's particularly needed, because it was mentioned both by Judge Emmett as well as Mayor Sylvester Turner, and that is the need for shelter as well as clothing and food. And again, the best way that people can go about aiding that process is to work with the Red Cross.
Did you get any numbers of how many rescues there have been statewide?
We have water rescues. There have been well over 1,000 water rescues, which is the most I've ever seen in the state of Texas. It's remarkable.
What about suspected deaths from the flooding?
We do not have a number of deaths connected to the flooding. That's something that we will seek to determine as soon as possible.
How about air rescues? Any numbers on that?
On air rescues?
The rain falling so much has not been able to allow that, so as the rain slows down, that's when the helicopters will be moving out right now.
We have, as we speak, what is it, 4 Apaches?
It's a total of 6 military,
I'm sorry, 6.
plus other parks and wildlife.
This may be more a question for Chief Kidd or
Sure.
Could either of you put this in context with some other big flooding disasters like we've seen in Houston, Allison, or
Sure. I'll be happy to do that. And that is because I asked that specific question earlier. The rainfall here is about half of what came down during Allison. And it is spread out in such a way. So this is not an Allison type situation. It is, however, one of the most significant floodings and rainfalls that we've had in that particular region.
Are we thinking that the worst is past?
Well, it's not really the right way to think about it. The worst of the rainfall is behind us, with the caveat that there will be ongoing rainfall. We need to be vigilant and concerned about ongoing rising water, and the biggest mistake anybody can make is to assume that the worst has passed and drive into rising water. In addition to that, remember this, and that is water has been on roadways for a while now, and the safety of those roadways that the water has been on needs to be tested before we feel a level of safety about people being able to use them. Along those lines, I would really like to point out, if you're driving down a roadway and see an area that is coned off, do not pass those cones. Do not drive into that area. There's a reason for those cones to be there, and that is to protect you from an unsafe condition.
Time for one more, guys.
Governor, today was oral arguments before the Supreme Court regarding the immigration lawsuit that you initiated. Any comments regarding today's oral arguments or the basis of those arguments?
My focus is solely on the flooding and the victims of the flooding today. We'll be happy to answer questions like that later.
Quick question for Chief Kidd. What does this flood event here, this rain event, measure on other rain events of the past?
That's a tough question to answer. It depends on if it's falling on your house or your property or not.
Right.
I mean, you go to Harris County Flood Control's website, and they're showing 17 inches of rain in a 24 to 36-hour period in the northwest part of Harris County. You know, if that's falling on your property, this is the worst event ever. And I think the state response to this is spooled up much like we would do for a hurricane response. I think the most important thing, as Governor Abbott has clearly mentioned, is we have to keep people out of harm's way. Please ask them not to put themselves in harm's way. Don't drive through low water. Turn around, don't drown, and be sure that you're reaching out to your family so that they know where you are. Have a good family communication plan.
Hey guys, we gotta go.
Real quick, Drive Texas, is that Texas spelled out or is that TX?
The way I have it is DRIVETEXAS.org.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.